Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com. Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moment. Let me get this going back here. It turned off on me. Hold on. Anyway, happy to be back. Had a replay yesterday. I was in Michigan taking care of some things. And, well, I'll tell you here in a second. I just want to get that going. I need that good juju up in here. There we go. The eye in the sky right back there. So anyway, today is my would have been my birth mother's 94th birthday. So happy heavenly birthday to the woman who bore me, Lucille. As some of you know, she and I were separated for reasons that neither one of us had anything to do with. From the time I was 2 weeks old until I was 32 years old. Kind of got swept out of the hospital by a nurse who wanted a baby. And so she picked me, and there we have it. So, but still, again, no blame, no shame. 22 women in total took the role of mom for me at one point or another, and they were all living up to the role that they were created to play in my life. So no mistakes, just the universe keeping our shit interesting. That's all. So listen, I went and did that, and I always sit there and talk to her and just fill her in on all the wonderful blessings that have happened since the last time we were together. So I did that, and I'm back. Glad to be here today. I brought our guest has been here. He was here just the other week. Aron O'Dowd from the O'Dowd clan. There can only be one. Right, okay, I'm sorry. Manly, yes, but I like it too. Oh, give me Lucky Charms. Oh, give me gold and I'll leave you alone. Made for a man. Wait. But I like it too. Did I say that one already? Anyway, that's all of the Irish that I speak. So Aron was here. He is known as, he's an intuitive. We're going to get him in here. Not a bunch of fanfare because he's an old pro now because he's been here. So get ready. We're going to pick up where we left off, which I have no idea where we left off. I hope he took notes. Good morning, Aron O'Dowd. How are you?
Howdy, partner. How you doing? How's life? Life is fantastic.
Good. Oh, you're in a different Wait a minute.
Yes, I am in a different space. I thought you'd notice.
I did, because there's stuff on the walls and not empty bookshelves.
Yeah.
Is that a real wall or is that a digital wall?
A digital wall.
It's really nice. I was going to ask you about that piece of art to my left. You're right, but since it's digital, you probably don't know. But anyway, how you been since you were here just last week or week before?
Upside down, smiles and frowns, and that's what life is about.
Yes. Do you remember where we left off? Well, first, there may be people watching who did not catch the other show, so we better give them that. So I'm going to do the same thing as last time. I'm going to dip out for 60 seconds, just let you pour into everyone, and just let them know what's on your mind, who you are, and what your divine gifts are. And then I'll be right back. All you, take it away. Take it away.
Fantastic. While he goes to the little boy's room, I've taken over his show. It's all mine. I'm known as the intuitive interviewer, making the impossible possible, having a visual impairment at the age of 7, a retina pigmentosa. I've gone on and had rowing records, triathlon racing, run podcasts, learning how to be a farmer, massage therapist, and the list goes on and on and on. I just love taking life by the balls and make it into a possibility to say, hey, I can't see, but I can do it, and I have.
No, that's right. I thought you were going to say by the horns, and I was thinking if I was me, I'd say by the. You did exactly what I would have done. So, Aron, let's explain to people again, because some of them may not have seen the last show. What was I'm cleaning. My ADHD is at work. I'm using this thing to clean the lint out of my microphone. There. So, how did this happen? Again, the pigmentation thing. And just how has it affected the work you do? Tell them about your superpowers if you could.
Sure. So, at the age of, I have a gene called Bardet-Biedl syndrome. It runs in my family. At the age of 7, I went to the ophthalmologist as my mom noticed little pigments of things I was missing and walking into. And sitting at the ophthalmologist room, he looked at my eyes and he said, "Aaron has retina pigmentosa." He'll probably be blind by his 20s, but we really don't know. So my 20s passed by and I still have 30, 40% vision. Don't ask me the percentage.
Yeah.
But I've lost night vision. I only see central, and I use text to speech to navigate the virtual world. I use a long cane and my touch, smell, hearing, and the invisible senses that allow me navigate this amazing world.
Awesome. Now, before we get all into the serious stuff, when you were here last time, I asked you if you could, pour into us with an Irish limerick, which you could not. So I've taken it upon myself to bring in a few of the cleaner versions today, just so people will understand why they're so popular. So, how about a limerick? Here we go. Here's one I have two. If you catch a chinchilla in Chile and cut off its beard willy-nilly, you can honestly say you made on that day a Chilean chinchilla's chinchilli. And then, one more. On the chest of a barmaid in sail was tattooed the pieces... Oops, starting over. Scratch! On the chest of a barmaid in sail was tattooed the prices of ale. And on her behind, for the sake of the blind, was the same information in Braille. So there we had a limerick for those who are, hey, so do you want the instructions? I can tell you where to find them.
Sure, google.com.
No, they're on her butt in
No.
Braille. The prices of ale. That's good. So 5 lines for a limerick. Next time you're here, I will have created a limerick just for you.
Ooh, wow.
I promise. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's talk about the work you do. You are known as the intuitive what? Interviewer.
Yes.
So how did you come about that name? Or, I mean, what is an intuitive interviewer for those who don't know?
I love interviewing people. I have a podcast, as I said, and I just sit down and I don't know where I'm about to go, but yet I'm being guided by some force.
Some force indeed.
Yeah, and I don't know where it's gonna go, but once the record button comes, boom, and you just know. It's like rowing and racing. You just know how it feels, and that kind of has that ability that I have, is where I just know where I'm going, and sometimes I finish and it's like, that was odd, that was interesting, but I have no idea. So I think it's allowing my soul, my essence, my spirit, my guide just flow through me in interviewing, and that's kind of where the intuitive part became, because I think having a visual impairment or blindness, you're very intuitive of sensing things.
Absolutely right. I agree. So, Aron, let's talk about this. What do you feel, in your opinion, what is your greatest asset, I guess I could say, superpower, as a result of the sight situation? I mean, what has it done for you that you wouldn't trade for anything in the world?
I would trade to have better vision, but right now in this exact moment, real time, I have very heightened hearing, smell, touch, taste. But I have this ability to get kicked down in life, get back up, find people, make it a reality, and make it some type of success. And that's what I've done throughout my life. And if you ask people in my network or people I've interviewed, you probably get a similar enough answer to that.
So can you hear me? Did you hear that? Okay, I was just whispering to see if your hearing was...
I heard that. I wanted you to add dramatic accents to that.
You really heard it?
Yes, I did.
Well, how come you were just sitting? Okay, okay.
You gotta have some drama, man. Entertainment is value.
That's true. Let me ask you this: when you're out and about, can you sense things around you that you cannot see? Let's say, like if you're walking down a big busy street, because you use the cane, right? So, I mean, can you feel the stares, or can you tell people are moving out of the? How do you know what to do? I've watched it, but I don't want to stare when I'm looking. But I'm just amazed at how it's just. I mean, did you learn that, or was it just a natural thing?
To use the cane, I had to learn how to use it, and it's vibration, it's energy, it's feeling through the hands. But someone that had perfect sight and now have the sight I have, I did not want to use a cane. I did not want to use some of the stuff I use, but my mom came up with this idea of, Aaron, your cane is your wand, because I loved listening to Harry Potter and reading Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings at the time, and my mom thought that'd be a better way. So I call my cane as my wand, where I just weave through and cast magic on the streets, and people move, and I sense people that are around me, probably due to vibrations, hearing, sensing, and touching through the vibrations of the road.
Have you spoken with anyone who was sighted and then for whatever reason lost their sight? Have you ever like, I guess you would say, mentored someone? And because that would seem to me a very difficult thing. I've asked this question before to someone who was unsighted and asked them, do you think it's more difficult for a person to be able to see and then they lose it, or to have not seen ever at all? What do you think? Because you were able to see when you were little, right? When you were younger?
Yes, I think it's far more difficult to have vision and not have a vision than be born blind, I think.
So you're saying to see and then not be able to see is...
Yeah, it's like someone ripping the arms out of your socket and then tell you go out and use them,
Right. You've already sampled the goods, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like going to a wine bar and you sample the Rioja and then you have to go sample another bottle of wine,
So when you're on your show, okay. Oh, I remember one of the questions I wanted you to come back with an answer to. Out of all, and you've done a lot, how long has your show been in existence, Aron?
I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been bouncing from various ideas, various shows, but the Aron O'Dowd show is new. It's been out for a while, but getting really back into it now.
What let's talk about a couple of the shows that stand out, Intuitive Interviewer, that stand out to you from over the years. If you were to pick your top two, what would your number one show be? What was the topic? If you remember who the guest was, or why do you think it stood out or stands out?
Number one would be a guy named Michael Peter Langevin. He's a shaman. He spent years exploring and interviewing people in the spiritual world, and I met him very first in the Queen Mary ship in Los Angeles, and he was my very first interview I did. And I fluffed up, I made mistakes, but he always said, Aaron, you're an incredible interviewer, and I really don't understand why. And he's helped me throughout this journey over the last 10 years, here in and out. And the second person, Lee Tunnyware would be my second one, and he's an amazing individual. His superpower is getting people stuck out of their way, making them phenomenal, and growing their network, their net worth as a human being and in business.
Okay, so I'll give you one more shot before I kick you out of the show.
Sure, I deserve no whiplashing.
And your third most favorite show?
My third most favorite show is Interviewing Godlike,
What?
I'm only joking with you.
And your third most favorite? Last chance.
Maybe with you. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, bye-bye. So anyway, I don't know what happened to him. He was here 1 second. I'm kidding. You're back.
I'm kidding too.
No, but let's talk about this. What just stood out. I love when I have a guest and we end up being friends for a long, long time. You've done so many interviews over the years. Do you find that you make a lot of acquaintances or a lot of friends from this? I think I do. People that I wouldn't mind hanging out with later and this, that, and the other. And one last question to piggyback on the first one. Do you find that you kind of keep up with certain people that you interview just to see what's going on in their lives?
Yeah, for sure. I become friends with them. I learn more about them because I have a process that I do before the interview to get to know the person, so I can understand them far better. And you do the same. And then over time, years pass by. Hey, how are you doing? How's life? How's so on? And I think that's important.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, okay, let's talk about gifts, and let's talk about when life snatches something from us, like your sight was snatched from you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what do you do when you pour into people that ask you the question, how did you deal with it? Weren't you depressed? How did you find the herewithal or the grit to keep going? And I just want to know, did you experience a period, even briefly, of depression when this first started for you? The news came in that you know he's going to be alive by the time he's 20 something. How did you deal with it, Aron?
On the surface, I was very positive about it, but deep down inside, I was angry. I was furious, and it took me a long time, probably up till 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. I finally came peace to it. But when you're gradually losing your vision of seeing at nighttime, not seeing at nighttime, being able to read, print, large print now, text to speech, it's frustrating. It's furious, and I would lose my temper out of frustration. I would cry. I would do all sorts of emotions would pop up. But my mom and my dad and my would just figure out ways of trying to create a lifestyle with this, and I think that's important. It's not about the emotions will come regardless if you're physically impaired, visually impaired, emotionally impaired, spiritually impaired, psychologically impaired. You still go through the same sets of emotions, but I do believe a support network around you is vital.
I agree. Now, the question so many of us ask when it's our turn to experience something that's not so pleasant is, crap, what did I do to deserve this? Why me? How do you answer that question today? Why me? What did I do to deserve this? I mean, do you feel like this is still, some kind of a spanking or a punishment or because that's sometimes tied to the anger part. Why'd this shit happen to me? I didn't do anything to anybody. Talk about how you get around that mindset to find your divine purpose inside of your reality.
If we had this conversation when I was in my 20s, I'd give you a completely different answer. But in this moment, I believe I chose to have a visual impairment. I chose these circumstances. I chose these moments to educate and explore the inner world. But as a human, I wish I got a better Delta cards. I wish I could actually see. I wish I could drive. I wish. But actually, I'm here to do something outstanding and incredible as a soul. And as part of that, I needed to have a visual impairment to understand this.
And there's the key word, soul. Because I know a lot of people may have been confused. Like, what do you mean you chose it? And then you were angry at the same time. No, your soul. Because I believe that, Aron, the soul comes thirsty for whatever it is the journey is. And we do choose. I believe that too, so that we can elevate to our higher self, which is, to me, the purpose of the journey. So what a great revelation that is. That is. But I can imagine that it's not that easy when talking to people who may be going through something similar or different, but still feel that shittiness. that anger piece that you were describing earlier. And you say, oh, don't worry, it'll all make sense eventually, and this, that, and the other. It seems like it's easier said than done. So do you still deal with it a little bit at all? And if you do, how do you get through that? Not around it, not over it, not under it, but through it.
I still have it in little fragments, and those little fragments is when I realize I can't do something, even though I'm Mr. I can do it. But the anger comes because we're told we can't on the physical level, but deep down inside us, we feel, and I feel that shit, I can do that. Who's gonna tell me I can't do that? And I think that's where the anger and frustration comes. Is deep down we feel we can do it, but on the surface, it's a whole different element in conversation.
The work you do today. So what else do you do besides interview people?
I'm a massage therapist, and I do triathlons, and that's kind of me right now. What I do. So
the triathlons, is that a grounding thing? Is that how you keep your head on, and pour in? Talk about that, because that's very disciplined.
It is. I started. I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I would go mountain boards downhill, race Labradors downhill on the bike, and I needed a new sport because my eyesight couldn't keep up the speed and the adrenaline I was doing. And I was shown rowing in 2007, spent 12 years as a rower. And then I got to a point where I needed a new challenge. And someone said, why don't you do a triathlon? And sport for me is not a business. It's my medicine. It's my drug of choice to keep me grounded.
That's a great way of putting it. Do you think you'll ever write a book, Aron, about this journey of yours?
I will when I'm 95.
When you're 95?
Yeah. When every journey's all done, I'm about to pass, boom, book is published.
There it is. So you can hit number one posthumously.
In my deathbed,
I'm with you on that. I'm trying to be the black male Betty White. I'm trying to leave here 99 or later. And I did have a great grandfather who was 116. So
wow,
it's
in your genes.
It's possible. So what are your dreams, Aron, for the future? What would you, let's say 10 years from now, what would you hope to be doing?
Having a booming and ravaging podcast, competing in world championships, also making documentaries about the ability that people have. And, I would love maybe in 10 years or my lifetime to have a component where I'm not seen as my disability. I'm seen as the human that I am.
Just Aron, who happens to have sight loss.
Yeah, that is there, but it's not the, look at him and he has
blind Aron.
Yeah, and where I just show up as me, even though I have my cane or my guide dog or my phone or whatever. It's there. So
I'm looking for the right phrasing here. So from what it sounds like, I don't know what it feels like. From what it sounds like, that's for that to be a 10-year goal. Not having that now must feel pretty crappy.
It is when I don't know how to explain this, but when you have a disability, getting jobs, getting the normalities of society are difficult. Yeah, there are people that may do it, but the 10 million or 100, whatever the exact number of people that are disabled on this planet, there's only a small percentage that are very successful in, having the societal functions of life.
Do you find, as far as the way things are set up for people with disabilities, that I'm sure you can only speak to your own, but do you ever find things where you go, what were they thinking? I can't do this because, you know what I'm saying? They haven't changed it to make it fair and accessible. to a person like you? Name a few of the things that we take for granted that you have to deal with that are kind of okay. Now this sucks.
Looking for ice cream in the supermarket.
Looking for ice cream in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Why is that more difficult than looking for bread in the supermarket?
Because bread, you know what bread feels like. You know, your hands are your eyes, your feet are your eyes, your smell.
Oh,
Yeah, you know, like I want to have Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I have to get my phone out and call someone and say, "Hey, is this Haagen-Dazs ice cream?" But if there was braille on the label or something, that's like, okay, I know now that this is Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
you know, I never thought of that. I never thought of that. What about this? What about surfing the web, the internet? How do you accomplish? How do I'm assuming you speak things in, but what if it's a video that pops up? What happens then? Just listen to it?
I listen to a video, I surf the web, either speaking, search, or typing. But the one thing that gets my knickers in a twist are the cookies. They accept the cookies. I wish they could get rid of that on the internet, because trying to find the accept button either in Spanish or English or Japanese, it's a nightmare. So that is and images. If images were descriptive, they're the two that get my knickers in a twist on the internet.
It makes sense. I understand that. Aaron, who takes up the mantle? Who takes up the battle, if you will, to make sure that the things that you need, or anyone who has a disability, are keeping up with? You know what I'm saying? Are there people whose jobs are to make sure that every time something new comes out, that, let's say, the hearing impaired or the sight impaired can keep up? So are there people inside, are there institutions or organizations that help keep, or do you guys just have to wait until you bitch about something long enough for somebody to do something about it? How's that work?
I think personally for me, the organizations are great, but there's always work that can be done. It's good, but could be better. You know, the YouTubers or there's maybe one or two influencers I follow in my space as the blind/visually impaired space, but bar that, there's nothing else. Usually it's me learning something or watching another YouTuber talk about it, or a friend who I know in my disability community to say, "Hey, Aaron, did you hear about this?" That's kind of how it works.
So your friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming when you were how old were you when your sight started leaving?
7.
You were 7.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to your circle of friends with kids? Did you lose friends because they didn't understand it, or now you couldn't keep up, or what was it like as a child? And do you ever talk to young people, kids, who may be going through the same thing? Because, you know, parents try their best to protect us and this and the other, but you know, the world of a child is everything. So take us to that. What was that like? And do you speak to kids today?
I don't speak to kids, but if I had my own kids that had a similar condition, I would let it explore and be free. I would make sure it's a safe environment, but I would let it be free and explore, because curiosity is something that should not be tampered with.
I agree. Now, I have talked and interviewed with people who lost an arm or leg or something, and one of the things that they report is quite frustrating, is that it's hard for the people that love them and support them to let them do things for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here, let me get that for you, as if you can't. And it would, to me, it would seem like, you know, a very tenuous thing, because on one hand, you can't help it. you want to run and help somebody, but on the other hand, you don't want to, what's the thing? You don't want to mess with that thing that makes them feel like they're able to do something. Talk about that. How do we know how to proceed when we see someone? And I'm assuming it's harder at the beginning.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to jump up and let me get that for you, or here, let me bring that over to you. Was that was that a situation?
It is a situation I think that every disabled person faces. I think in my story, I went off to a school for the blind and residential care because I wanted to learn and explore and see how this works through other people's experiences. And it was taught about, you need help. There are people there to help you, but you need to do this yourself. You need to be independent. So it's striving that balance of depending on something and being independent. The big problem I see for me and for others is support and asking for help, because I'm Mr. Independent and I can do this and I can do that, but actually we need people to depend on us as well. So I think it has to be that happy medium.
I agree. What would you say is the thing that you love the most about your life today? What is that thing that just is like, wow, that's my jam? I wouldn't trade it for the world.
My jam has many jams to it. It's got reggae, hip hop, dance, whatever. It's the triathlons, it's the interviewing, it's the massage. But really, what really floats my boat is being able to inspire, empower, and move people through my podcasts, through racing with, or having them on the massage bed and helping them move. So that's kind of what it is.
Let's talk about this athletic prowess of yours, if you will. How much time do you have to donate to training in an average month? I'm assuming there are certain times of the year where you're down, nothing's going on, maybe not, but on an average, how much do you have to invest in this thing to be ready for these triathlons?
I would say minimum. So I'm gonna go by week. I haven't calculated month by month. So I would say maybe minimum 5 hours, max 10 hours. That's my sweet spot. Other people train 12 hours to 24 hours. My triathlon is a sprint triathlon, so it's 750 meter swim, 20K bike, and 5K run. So it's a short, swift, fast sport. But when I was doing rowing, my hours were shorter, but the training sessions were more intense.
How do you do the biking?
I have there's a tandem bike, so I sit in the back, thumbs at the front, and we both cycle together, and he directs me around the course.
So every person in the race has a tandem bike?
Yes.
So the person up front are they pedaling?
Both are pedaling. I don't steer. I just hold on the back and I pedal. And also when swimming and running, the same person's with you, guiding you through the river or the sea. And same with the running, you're guiding you through the streets.
Wait a minute. Did you say the river or the sea?
Yes.
Why did I picture you in a swimming pool?
I train in the swimming pool,
But you guys you'd swim in live water?
Yeah, on Saturday last week, I was in the sea and it was rough, and I was going up and down, strapped to someone, and we were being tossed left and right. It's fun,
So, okay, if I were doing it, which not going to happen, by the way, everybody, but if I were, just like, so I'm thinking this, if I'm biking, I'm looking. That's half the fun. I can see what's in front of me. I went past it. I can set a goal. Look at that hill that's coming or whatever. Or swimming. Okay, there's the marker. There's the buoy. There's the this. What is it like? What are you watching on the screen in your mind when you're doing these things to keep you vested in, oh, there's the finish line, I'm almost there? Is the person with you saying things to help make that happen for you, to push, to pull that last bit out? Explain how that works.
It's a marriage. So it's how I feel. I know how we feel is I'm sensing the direction he's pulling me left, right. It's communication, talking to me and pushing me. Come on, Aaron. There's a couple expletives thrown in the mix, and it happens. So that's how we navigate the race or training sessions.
And what is this person called officially?
They're called a guide.
A guide. And do you get matched with them, or do you work with the same person all the time? Is it expensive? Do they volunteer? I never heard of this. How does a person become a guide if they're interested? Just
it's mainly volunteering, because this sport is a Paralympic sport, but it's not a professional sport. So people volunteer their time, but it has to be matched, same height, similar weight. So I had a guide for a number of years, but I've moved to another country. He's moved to another country. So I'm breaking in a new guide at the moment. And it's going well. It's like a dance. And that's why I describe it as a marriage.
What are the qualifications, Aaron? How do you know when you found that person that it's a great match? How is it personality, a combination? Do you have to go through the water, the bike, everything with them to see if, how do you know what's a good match? How do you know?
First of all, I have metrics. I know my own performance metrics. So say, what's your run time? Okay, what's your swim time? Okay, what's your bike time? So that's giving me indication, because the guy has to be fitter than the athlete. Second of all, height, weight. And then third of all, you have to teach them how to direct you on, a street, or when you're swimming, or how to use the tether. So you're breaking them in like you would do with a horse, but based on the fitness metrics and performance would be the most important thing.
So if you're a male, you need a male guide. If you're a female, you need a female guide.
If you want to race nationally and internationally, but if you're racing, you're training, I've trained with women, I train with men, but to race, we need men and women and women.
And women. So when you win, who do they win to?
Yes.
So they're actually competing as well.
Yes.
In Paralympics.
Yes.
Okay. Do we see, like, this is international, right?
Yes.
Okay. So have you won any medals?
I haven't reached international level yet. I've reached national level, and the next stage of the goal is to reach international level.
And you've been competing for how many years, Aaron?
In triathlon, I've only done one race. In rowing, I was competing for 12 years.
Wow. So you're pretty fit.
Yeah. When you come from a rowing background into triathlon, this seems a bit more tricky, because of rowing, it's balls to the walls, where you're going not 60 and you hold it for 2 kilometers, holds for 6-7 minutes. So, but in triathlon, it's more about pacing yourself, because you transition from swim to bike to run, and while you're transitioning, you're moving. So it's a different regime.
Yeah. So I think we touched on this next topic a little bit last time we were together, but I'd like to hit it again if we did or didn't. And let's talk about finding that thing within us, that grit, digging deep, if you will. Because one thing I hear a lot from people with challenges, not disabilities, but challenges, is that they really get tired of people who don't have any reason to be bitching and complaining, constantly bitching and complaining. And talk about that. How do you deal with that when you hear somebody, or even overhear, just complaining about something that means absolutely nothing? And you're sitting there going, you know what? If they had to deal with this, and this, and this, I mean, is that hard? Is that difficult? Or is it par for the course?
I think it's part of the course. We're human.
So it doesn't bother you?
Doesn't bother me. I'll commute, like I'll chat. Like if I'm hearing a conversation, I can join in. I'll bring some pointers
Yeah.
to make them
Yeah.
aware. But you know, at the end of the day, they're the boss of them, and they choose how they want to live.
They
So,
choose. That's true. Is your sight gonna deteriorate any further?
yes, my uncle's in his nearly his 50-year-old, and he only can see color. So eventually, I will, depending on research and science and medicine, and maybe something else might happen in the meantime. Who knows?
So other people in your family have this. So this is congenital?
Yes, I have it. My sister has it. My uncle has it.
All at different stages.
All at different stages, different 50, 30, and 20s. They're the age ranges.
And is it pretty? So what happened to your uncle? Are you in the same? Well, I'm a couple years from, or is it depending on the individual?
Regarding the vision part of it, that is true. The body part of it is a different part. The doctors don't know how this gene affects the body. So in Ireland, I'm part of the genetic program where I'm getting all sorts of systems in my body tested so they can understand how does the gene interact with your liver, your heart, your lungs, your metabolism, and each individual has a different set of issues relating to this gene. If you type into Google, you'll see maybe 3, 4 pages of possibilities.
And are you single or married, Aaron?
I'm single.
You're single. So if you want to get married, I'm assuming, because you mentioned
Mhm.
stuff about kids, and it comes time to have kids, how big of a risk is it that your children could have this vision issue?
My genes and her genes need to match
In order for it not to happen, or in order for it to happen?
in order for it to happen.
Oh, okay. So if they don't match, odds are your children will not pick this up.
Yeah, so in my case, my parents are carriers and my grandparents are carriers of this gene. So that's how my sister, I, and my uncle are affected.
So now back when they got together and you all were created, were they able to be tested, or no, it hadn't come to that yet?
For my uncle, no. For my sister and I, my mom was an investigative journalist of figuring out how does this affect, and so we went to doctors and so on when we lived in America, and we understood very minute detail comparing to today. We know way more, but still don't know more.
Have you ever met someone outside of a family member who is dealing with this issue?
Yes, and what I'm describing is very similar to other people that should have this gene.
Wow. So now when you meet Mrs. Wright, or Miss Wright, who will become Mrs. Wright, will you be tested to find out if she is a carrier? Because a person might not. So just because, I mean, she could be a carrier and no one in her family have it yet, right?
That's true.
Wow. Wow. I wonder how many things there are like that.
Endless possibilities, I think.
Right. So, boy, how interesting. Okay. So let's talk about, let's go into what's it take for a person to qualify to make it on your show, and then tell us where people can find it and when it airs and all of those good details.
So we're coming to the end where I have to share my underwear out and show how colors they are. So
That's right.
Yeah. My podcast is every week. I interview from people to art, sports, the business. It's not about what you do; it's more about who you do and what you do inside. So, as you go from survive to thrive to success, that's the story that we all have and share in different colors and flavors. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't really mind what you've done, but we'll talk about it. But it's more about those components. The show is called the Aron O'Dowd Show. You can find me on any social media, the website aronodowd.com. I'm scattered all over the internet like the wind of seeds, and that's it. So
you are. Do you ever see yourself keynoting, Aaron? I think you'd make a great keynote.
It's on the forever endless do list.
So not yet, but you will.
Oh yes.
Okay. You ever make it over here to the States?
I have, but not in the not since 2022. I've been in the States, so if there's an opportunity, I'll come. I always say yes to an opportunity depending on circumstances, but I will maybe there in the future.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, as we start to wrap things up, here's a good one. What would you say would be the most shocking thing to people who you think they know you that this piece that they have no clue about, anything that shocks people about Aron once they get to know him? You do what, or you are who, or anything, or just pretty peanut butter and jelly kind of guy?
I don't think a peanut butter and jelly kind of guy is me. I'm a very dark horse. I'll come out with things like, oh, he can skip rope. Wow, he can do this. Wow, he can do that. And so I think that's me. I always have another layer to me, even though they think they may know me in a good way.
So you sound like the kind of person who really doesn't say it's not possible. You just try it.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
That's true.
Do you think you would be like this? That would be so easy to say, yes, that is me, if it hadn't been for this issue with your sight?
I don't think I'd be the individual as I am if I had the circumstances I had.
Okay. So here's your Jerry Springer moment, sir. As we start to wrap things up, not everybody out there is losing their sight, but somebody may be themselves or someone they love very closely, say moving into early onset Alzheimer's or dementia, or they just found out they have hypertension or something that's going to progressively get worse, and they're at the front of it. What would your greatest piece of inspiration or golden nugget be, or advice be, for a person who's going to have something that's going to stay there, it's not going away, to stick with it, to grow with it, and try to understand why they are dealing with it? Because I believe that has a lot to do with it, or why would you have it? To kind of talk about that a little bit as we get out of here, Aron.
We have illnesses, and illnesses is a program that is in our physiologically component of us. So I think we have these circumstances to teach our soul, our essence, a lesson. And yet we still have the ability to heal. So if you have a pre-diagnosis and there is a metaphysical or a physical cure, I don't like the word cure, more about medicine or drugs, herbs, meditation, frequency. The list can go on and on.
Yeah.
We have this ability to heal, and that's what we need to know.
That's right. And you like to cook too, don't you?
I love cooking. Food is my other enjoyment.
Me too. We'll have to get, when you come over here or I come over there, we got to get in the kitchen together. Deal?
Perfect. From blenders, mixers, knives, you name it. I can't wait to see what you can cook up.
Oh, I can cook now. Don't get it twisted. Y'all better tell him. Right. What's your favorite meal to prep?
I love all sorts of meals to prep, but my favorite meal to eat is pizza. I've made a friend who's a well-known chef cry and challenge me over eating pizzas in his friend's restaurant.
Okay. Well, now we know what we're going to talk about the next time Aron O'Dowd is on with us. Aron, it's really a thrill to know you. I could just listen to you all day long. Tell them again where to find your show, what day and what time, and where it's at.
So you can find me at AronO'Dowd.com, social media, Aron O'Dowd. My podcast comes out each week. I haven't figured out the day and time because I'm in Tim Mantoul Taylor construction mode, but probably will be some day of the week coming forward.
Perfect. And you guys, I will drop his links inside of the comment section for you for easy access. Head over, reach out. Perhaps you're a good fit for the Aron O'Dowd Show. Or if you are a podcaster or a live streamer or a journalist in print and you want to talk to him about an interview, you'll be able to do that through these roads as well. Aron, thank you so much. I'm going to get to work right away on my limerick with you in it. You're going to be inside the limerick. You watch. You think I'm kidding? I bet you I have a limerick the next time I run into you. And just keep doing what you're doing. You're very inspirational. And I love the work you're doing. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you, Lawrence. It's been a blast and enjoy and love it.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys get out today. Find at least a little piece of your highest self. Scooted right up next to who you are already. And poof, just like that. You took great to greater. You took bright to brighter, strong to stronger, bold to bolder, and nice to nicer. So listen, as I tell you every day as we get out of here, come on back tomorrow. I'll meet you over on the front porch, God willing, for another illuminated conversation. And don't forget, I love, love, love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Aron, great job as always.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, y'all. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you. I'll